the incentive chest decides to be the wrong state and have, 86 gold, but oh, nope, he is going to get paid off. So the big payoff here for Caleb is that in that last chest here on floor 3 of Earth Cave, he finds a loose herb. So our first loose item is in hand.
Nice. Well, that's a big thing. And the rod.
Oh, that's the stuff right there. And he's just gonna that exit spell. Don't need that right now. Let's keep going.
and the crowd in chat goes wild. A loose and the key item you need to finish this out, and an expert staff lurking there over in the Earth Floor Treasury. That's a lot of good value, plus an X-Cal. Now, obviously, he doesn't have the fighter, but that X-Cal can sell if he wants to go buy some other stuff. Value here in Lich Cave.
Yeah, never not Earth Cave, everybody. It pays off every single time. We promise you, it's not a randomizer if Earth Cave doesn't pay off. Earth Cave is awful. But hey, it worked out this time.
Earth Cave is awful. I mean, it worked out for him in this case. And I mean, maybe he was playing the odds of there are only so many items that can be out there, so many things available. Hopefully the rod's got to be here because there's only like 4 key items left and only a couple places left to check. But still, that was a gamble right there, and it paid off for him. Don't know how long it's going to take for Danglu to make it over here. Danglu is doing Volcano right now. But it's not something I think is going to give Caleb necessarily a lead, because I don't know where else Danglu could go after this. But it's still a good move on Caleb's part and puts him that much further ahead.
I mean, he's certainly not going to lose time to his dive through early Earth Cave here, because the rod, of course, makes that a full payoff. I mean, even just getting the herb would have been nice there. Dang's giving us the standard look at Volcano right now. He added on a Black Mage to his party, so I know he looks like he wants Temper access for sure. Slightly better run chance as well. And there's the other half of the puzzle right now. The cube awaits us in the Volcano's armory on the 2nd floor.
And with Earth and Marsh and Titan all having something in their incentivized chests, I think we can go with at this point the fact that the Tri-State decided to turn everything on.
Yeah, and the big thing is that knowing what we know, we have go mode without floater, but that loose herb is the floater.
Mm-hmm. We do have go mode without it. Herb is going to lead to it. They're going to have everything they need. It's the thing at this point that they are set to roll. They don't necessarily have to get that floater, although I'm pretty sure they probably will if they want to go through the effort of it. Why not at this point? I mean, for both of them, they're on this side of the world, this hemisphere. Herb is not too far a turn in, and then floater is not too far a turn in from there. But the simple fact is we know where everything is because we found the 2 loose.
Yeah, and I apologize, there is a slab out there too that they haven't found, so they would have to actually pick up the slab first to get the floater stone from that herb. So it'd be herb to slab to wherever Lafine is. Did we find Lafine yet? Because
it's probably over at Gaia. Well, no, it has.
No, it can't be there.
Doesn't it?
It does have to be turn-inable, so it can't be. Then that would mean that cannot be the floater stone, correct?
Yeah, it has to be. Looking at what it is, the floatstone or the slab has to lead to Opal then.
Oh, Crescent Lake has an item spell Zappa saying. I don't think anybody's grabbed that yet, so it will lead to the floater stone. The slab's at Crescent Lake, and it'll lead us to our Opal bracelet, I believe. We haven't found yet, or.
Well, Crescent Lake has an item, but Crescent Lake I don't believe is available to us yet.
Right. So Crescent Lake has the slab in it at the Circle of Sages, so the herb is the floater stone.
Herb to floater, Crescent Lake has slab leads to Opal, everything's good to go.
Yep, but otherwise we don't need the floater stone per se. The big thing is that if Deng does decide to dive Earth, gets the herb, and then also the rod afterwards, he might be able to parse out that he doesn't need the floater stone, but it might make things marginally faster, but at this late of a point in the seed, it might not be strictly necessary.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd bother with it. Like, I mean, I'm not that great a player. I probably would go for it, but I could easily see Dangwu going. The amount of effort it's gonna take to do this may or may not be worth it. Is it really gonna speed up anything for me? As we see Caleb turn in that herb to get the floater.
Yep, so he's likely to go get the airship and probably head right up to Gaia, knowing it's Crescent Lake, go ahead and grab the slab there, translate it, turn it back in, and get his whole lot of not the loose item he needs to finish the seed. He's not going to get the cube there, but it would make a lot of sense if you've got the floater now to make that check, because it's an easy chase rather than a lot of work.
If he remembers the flags, Caleb may do the slab to get the opal, or he may decide the opal just isn't worth it to him and skip it.
Well, the big thing is Caleb doesn't know that the cube is out there in a box someplace yet. He does not have that knowledge that we do.
True. And he's flying away, so good call on that.
Yep. It's a very logical play here. It's just not. We know it's not the right play, but that's Randomizer for you. Dang, taking down a couple of Agama here, taking down some Red Giants. He's about to get to the Fire Orb at the base of the volcano in just a moment, so we'll see who our second fiend is. It's not Gary. She's already dead.
Already dead. Caleb does find that we have a French vanilla Lufane, and Lufane is over at Gaia. So they didn't move too far, they just set up shop slightly off from where they were at.
It's just pretty in a different way.
Okay, so I already missed the fact that Caleb finished Earth Cave. I looked away for a second to see what Dangwu was up to, and then he was out. I assume he fought the Fiend. Was it Lich?
Well, we found Tiamat here at the bottom of the volcano right now.
That's a bit scary, but Kraken was at the bottom of Earth Cave. Apparently Kraken didn't roll all that high, because blink and you miss it, apparently.
Yeah, throwing out some cheeky zaps here from Dangwu, but he's got the Mosmew, and he's got that, and he's also got the Invis 2 hat, so everything's seeming to be okay.
You can't see me, I'm wearing my beret.
Is that how that works, really?
Yes. Yeah, berets confer instant invisibility. I don't, it's amazing.
I mean, I don't make the rules, I guess I'll go with it.
So there was that slab you were talking about from those confused old men. So that we know that will lead over to the opal bracelet at this point. Caleb, though, is going to go and turn in that slab so he can fly over to Lufane Gaia and get his opal bracelet. Although first off, finds out the cemetery is a tomb.
Ah.
Can't trust Dr. Oon, always dodging.
I am groaning at you so hard right now. Where were we? Caleb's in the air, Dangwu's on the ground right now. Dang's got 2 orbs, and he does not quite know it yet that Go Mode exists if he decides to dive Earth.
Yeah, we're in no mode. We know what he needs. He just doesn't know what he needs yet. So,
yeah.
With what's available to him, about the only place he has left to go, really, is... I mean, Sky. I guess he could go up to Sky, but he also has Earth. He's doing Sky.
He's going to gamble on those 50 chests having the second loose item that he does not know about, and now Caleb looks like... Caleb's play, which didn't look so hot just a minute ago, of course, is now looking like Dang's going to use a lot of time in Sky Tower.
What is it? Because think of it this way, he's right here at Gaia. Are you more likely to go over to Volcano, or because you have the items needed for this, are you going to go and do Mirage? And then spend your time digging these 50 chests, because he still needs the... Oh, he needs the cube still. He can only go 2 floors deep.
Yeah, Dang is here. Dang is going to dig this out because... Dang is going to dig this out because he doesn't know where the rod is right now. He doesn't know that the rod is sitting there at the bottom with... He doesn't know that the rod is sitting there at the bottom with the herb, so... He still knows that there's a loose item out there, and he's hoping that it's the rod here now. He might still think that there's 2 loose items out there because he hasn't touched the Earth Cave chest yet. It's
true. That's rough.
So this is wild. Caleb is digging this for... basically, basically the good reason that he doesn't have the cube on hand yet. Dang is going to dig this because he doesn't have the rod yet, and Dang is going to crack a lot of treasure chests now, everybody. So if you want to see all 50 of these boxes, it's about that time.
I mean, it's not. I don't know that's necessarily going to hurt Dang that much. It'll put him behind some, but he already is a crystal up on Caleb. Sure, he's going to have to clear out 3 floors that Caleb wasn't going to, but he's also going to be probably getting a ton of experience at the same time. Won't really have to worry about that grind after he's done, if he was planning on grinding.
Yeah, it's a real interesting situation that we're in. Chimeras are unrunnable. They also are resistant to fire. They take additional damage from ice, but I don't believe we have any ice spells on hand, so it's going to be Mosmune swings and nuke spells to take them down right now. Great experience, though. 3 grand.
Ice 3 was at nuke. It looks like everyone decided to avoid nuke or to avoid ice 3 and just go with nuke. Can't necessarily say I blame them. If a monster is weak to ice 3, it might take slightly more damage than from a nuke roll, but because nuke is unelemented and already does a crap ton of damage, more than likely nuke is your better choice.
Yeah, nuke by far does the most damage in the game. It does anywhere from 100 to 400 damage and has the highest accuracy in the game, so it's most likely to do those 200 to 400 hits rather than 100 to 200 hits. It does those double damage hits more often, and it is completely unresistible as well. So, it does all the good things.
Crabcake noting in chat, and I have to agree, it's interesting that the two of them went in different directions and at the midpoint and started exploring all over the place, different from each other. And yet now, an hour 13 in, they're basically holding hands once again, exploring the bottom dungeons or bottom floors of the Mirage Dungeon.
I mean, the big thing that we would be hoping for as commentators would be a second ribbon here would be real nice, but no real assurance of that.
Well, we know there's another Invis helmet floating out there somewhere. There's a couple more ribbons, more than likely on the table. There's the possibility that this exploration is going to work out really nicely for Dang in the way of gear. It's just, whether or not this works out for him as far as being able to keep up with Caleb right now.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb has taken the Mosmune off of the Black Belt and is deciding that the White Mage is probably a better target for it. Black Belt at level 23, so is at the 6-hit threshold, so hits about as hard as a Vorpal Sword does at this point, but with a better crit rate, interestingly enough, it feels like, because you get 6 hits instead of 3 to 4.
And I want to point out that there's no guarantee there's another Invis helmet floating out there, just like there's no guarantee any more ribbons may be out there. We have randomized treasures on, so just about anything can be anywhere and mixed up together. It's not just shuffled, it is randomized at this point. Treasure levels are going to stay the same, so you're going to get the same kinds of gear, but not necessarily in the same number.
Of note, there was a second Invis 2 bucket in this seed at the Earth Cave lower 3 chests on floor 2.
Nice. So that's 2 right there. That's some great armor to have. I would not complain about that at all.
Nope, it's a good time all the way around here. So, Caleb is here in Volcano, but is checking the back chests first here, so he reset once out already because Peds have damage poison, and they decided to, spray damage poison in his eye, make his party die.
Now, I will tell you, the thing that's gonna hurt Dangbu is if he goes to Volcano before he goes to Earth. Because most of the items he needs are over in Earth, but if he goes to Volcano first, he's going to end up likely clearing out the entirety of the seed, all of the dungeons, until he finally finds the Urban Rod down on Earth 3.
Yep, Dang's already completely cleared out Volcano at this point. He's got the Fire and Water Orbs lit, so he's got a full clear of Sea Shrine, full clear of Volcano under his... he's got the full clear of... He's going to have the full clear of Mirage under his belt as well before he goes to Earth Cave. He's not going to find anything here that we know about other than possibly some additional armor or weaponry.
I feel bad, for the fact that I had 2 extra days off this week, my brain is just not functioning today. I'm glad you're here in the booth with me, Demi, because I'm having problems keeping up.
Look, if there's one thing I'm good at, it's not playing video games, it's commentary.
I missed the extra Invis bucket, I missed the fact that someone has already done a cave that they're in. Where am I at today? But yeah, no, this could work out well. this could be bad. I mean, he's making great progress through here at this point. He's already cleared out most of Sky 2, Daewoo has. So, and Sky 3 is really not that hard to clear out.
It's nicer with Warp, but we don't have that luxury tonight. Warp was tucked away, far, far away, I believe, at level 8 magic, so...
If he warps, though, he won't, get all that luscious experience. I would choose the experience.
Look, I'm in a fighter comp. I'm near level 24. I don't need much more. Caleb's going to get the news that he is now in go mode with that cube in hand. So he is now going to exit out, save, and probably now swift dive this. Probably a quick run to the bottom.
You can see the gears spinning, though, in his head there for a second. Do I check the rest of these chests? Nope, I have a black belt. Let's not check these chests. Let's get out.
I got a black belt and a cube. I'm good. Let's go. Let's leave this place.
And yeah, he's doing what I like to do in these kinds of situations. Just buff up that black belt as much as he can, although I would have put that gear shirt in front. I think he's thinking about doing that right now. Oh, no, he is gearing up for a grind. Clearly already getting ready for that. Yep, that Agama grind, trying to take those people down. Gonna go kill some lizards. So yes, as chat is already discussing, if you have them queued up, get them ready. We're about ready for some Agama facts.
The usual fact, of course, that Agama is the standard measure of experience in the Final Fantasy world, be it the vanilla game or the randomizer, and Agama is worth exactly one Agama's worth of experience.
They are also, if I'm not mistaken, pure protein, so if you're trapped in a volcano and need to be able to survive, Agamas are the way to go.
But you don't want to eat the gland that causes them to emit fire because, well, you know, that's how you have to deal with heartburn at that point.
It's just spice, it's fine.
Alright, so it looks like Caleb has decided to soften up his party a little bit here by walking on fire for a little while. Agama eats the white mage, that's unfortunate, but it's all part of the plan. He's going to Cure 3 shirt himself a few times. The big thing is that this Agama is not exactly the safest of grinds here because it is pretty powerful. So it is going to take some chunks out of this black belt here and there, and he only has 9 heal potions? Ooh, this might not last very long.
Caleb, what are you doing, man? This was not the way. Oh, okay. It only hit him. Oh, he is wearing an opal bracelet and an opal ring, or not opal ring, a power ring, and the ribbon. So he's pretty well armored up right now. It might not be as bad as it seems.
Yeah, he's going to use that Cure 3 shirt repeatedly as well as his health goes down.
Yeah, the Agama doesn't seem to be doing nearly as much damage as the Cure shirt is going to heal back up. So, I mean, the worst thing he's going to have to do is try and get out of here, and hopefully he doesn't hit an unrunnable that he has to really slog through.
Well, the thing is that if he grinds out past level 32, an unrunnable that he has to slog through will basically will catch the fists and get sent packing, probably. So I don't think he's got anything to worry about here.
More than likely, no. Still, it's always that risk. I've seen more than a few spring tournament people who ground their black belt up to 42, get death touched by a bull on the way down, and then lose like 15 minutes of grind right there. Yeah,
I mean, you just gotta keep an eye on those hits. The higher end hit, that was a 3 swing for 63, so you gotta be a little bit careful here. He's gonna heal up, which is very smart. Deng is now on the Bridge of Destiny, and having found not his rod. And there's a little green cloaked figure at the end of the bridge there.
I'm sure he's fine. He's nice. He's just the doorkeeper. He's like, oh, let me see your credentials. Oh, yeah, you can come in. It's fine.
So, you know, for a little bit of additional spice required at the end of the Bridge of Destiny, there's no escaping it this time. We don't need less RNGs. Don't pray. Don't get it out there. We don't care. We know who's here. It's Lich in behind, but, you know, Lich has got the best Guardian robot he could have bought at this point in time. That's right. The Master of Destruction, Warmech. Yeah,
I mean, in all honesty, this is probably the funniest combination you can have for the Fiends right here. Lich guarded by Warmech. Lich is like, I am tired of people coming into my house and killing me every time they get in here. I'm gonna pay for a little added security.
And of course, Warmech being part of the Fiend's 2 pool of abilities, does potentially come with nuclear, you know, any of those high-end power moves. Does have 3 hits, though. Did actually roll high on hits and just absolutely clobbers the Black Mage. So, Black Mage face. But not a lot of absorb. Takes a 9-hit swing for 610, so Warmech is likely not long for this world. The nukes are going to miss, though, for like 116, 117. And the Warrior is going to survive a hit here, 2 for 240. Plenty of armor, so this should be pretty academic at this point.
We're down to 2. Oh, good. And the Warmech goes down at this point. No need to exit. If all you got is Lich ahead of you, Lich is fine. Just fine. Maybe heal them.
I mean, maybe throw on a little bit of HP there, yes. But, yeah, this should be a... compared to Warmech, which, you know, we were sweating because Warmech could potentially accidentally kill you, this one we're not sweating. I don't think we're sweating this one at all.
No, this is not a huge deal here, although he's spending more time crafting this party than I probably would have. I would have done a quick heal and just been like, okay, oh, he doesn't know whether it's Lich or Kraken yet because he hasn't gone to the last dungeons.
Yeah, and Kraken would be actually dangerous here
He would
because with only two party members, and if it could tag your fighter for too much damage, you'll die.
Lich comes out swinging for 40. Actually survives a round of Nuke and Mosmoon. Lich has more health at this point than Carrie did, but that 250-second Nuke is going to finish him off. Speed bump is gone, and we're moving on.
Gold star for effort for Lich tonight, though. He survived a round.
He held on with both of his bony hands ready to go. So at this point, he's going to be able to sail into Earth. He is going to be done at that point. Won't even need the floater that he'll get from the herb. So all the people in chat that were saying, yeah, he won't pick up that floater, 100% correct. No need to grab it.
Has to make a quick stop, though, to bring his, bring some red mages back to life here, and a black mage back to life. So he's just stopping for a quick res here before moving along to Earth Cave, so he's probably going to hop out and sail to the east in just a moment. So with that level 32 black belt, going to wall sword himself first, make sure he's got that magic protection just in case of Bane. But yeah, he's in the middle of direct combat with Tiamat, and he is winning, but slowly. Tiamat's got a bunch of health here.
It's a bit of a slog, but nothing that he couldn't handle.
So, oh right, no, Dengwu's made a different stop. He did not check this side, and he still needs the rod that he's still chasing right now.
Ouch.
And since there's 4 items out in the pool for him, he does not know what we know at this point.
So I was right, but I was wrong. Like, the worry I had that he was going to go to a dungeon he didn't need to go to was absolutely legit. I just didn't realize it was the seaside side instead of Volcano.
Yeah, it's actually, you know, and it's kind of gone from bad to worse here in that, you know, with Volcano full cleared but not touching Earth yet, he's, again, 4 items out there and he's still hunting. He really does not want to dip into Earth Cave and see if there's an incentive down there, and he is now really just hemorrhaging time.
This is where it starts to get bad for him.
Every chest he opens that he does not get something valuable out of it is another moment that he's going to sweat a little bit harder, and it's going to get worse and worse as we go along.
Mm-hmm. The joy of tri-state flags, people. Yeah, because if he knew for certain that Earth Cave was going to have an item in it, he would have gone and checked it. But the fun of the evil things we've done to our people at this point, he can't be certain of it. He has to go check everything. At least he thinks he does.
Well, he does. He thinks he does, and that's all that matters. He doesn't actually have to. But when your mind is on checking everything is what you're going to do. Caleb, done with chests, done with items. I think he's just done with this seed at this point in time. He's going to start punching his problems real quickly.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, Dengwu is continuing to check chests.
Well,
that gamble Caleb played at Earth Cave really paid off.
Yeah, at this point in time, again, as Deng is continuing to explore these areas, Caleb's going to catch up on orbs once he gets to the bottom of this, but, you know, is it likely? He's still got to get through air, which is, you still got to get through Sky Tower, which is the longest dungeon at least.
He does, but he doesn't actually have to check anything in it because he's full up on that. And walking through Sky is actually a whole hell of a lot faster than having to check all the chests in Sky.
Yeah, Mirage 2, I mean, he's already done Mirage 2, but Mirage 2 is pretty terrible for grabbing the chests. Sky 2 is really bad for grabbing all the chests. Without Warp, Sky 1's a little slow. Without Warp, Sky 3 is a little slow, so there's options there.
People are asking in chat what equipment the Black Belt is wearing at this point. I know he was wearing the ribbon and a ring and a opal bracelet, and the three of those ribbon, ring, and opal bracelet. The three of those combined together, I believe, come out to 43 armor all told. So unless his Black Belt is up above 43, it doesn't hurt to keep that armor on there because his natural armor, I don't think, is going to compare at all to that. That said, he's not using the Mosmo anymore because the fists are already better at this point. But if, as Humpy MC Saddles in chat says, if he still has at least the ring on, then he needs to unequip that, because any piece of gear automatically reduces the Black Belt's armor rating down to whatever they're wearing. And at the level he's at, his natural armor is better than the ring that he'd be wearing.
Alright, so Deng has popped out of the Mermaid side, so he's popped out of Sea Shrine East with his whole lot of 0 here. I believe he's kind of run out of options at this point, hasn't he?
I think he's looking a little on tilt right there, not quite certain where he's supposed to go. I think he's confused about whether or not Earthcave was what he had to do, but buddy, Earthcave is the only place you have left. Unfortunately, sorry, guy.
I think he's a little I think he was a little confused about where he parked.
There's that too. He did park in a very confusing spot, did he not?
I mean, it's the valet lot. You don't really know where they're going to take your ship, and they weren't there. They threw him his keys and said, "Don't worry about it. Go get your ship," and he didn't know where it was.
So at this point, Caleb is decisively heading into his end game. He still has, 2 crystals he's got to do, one of which he's going to have taken care of in just a second. But he is in a very good position right now. So despite the fact that Dangwu is 1 crystal up, and Dangwu is still checking every chest at this point, having to go through all of it, trying to figure out where he needs to go next. This is still Caleb's game, I think, to lose.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. The airship ends up being, in this short of a hop, Deng ended up just going right to Earth. It probably wouldn't have mattered too terribly much. But now that as it starts to stretch out, that floater advantage is starting to really kick up and for Caleb here. And he's 3 orbs to the good. He's just got to hike through Sky. Deng is going up to Temple of Fiends right now to go ahead and try and pick up the 3 chests on the right side, which, again, this is quite the hike.
It's very far out of the way to do the things that he's trying to do at this point. Whereas Caleb is, of course, flying around, already heading off towards Earthcave, doesn't have to check anything. He breezed through all of Sea Shrine.
And, of course,
he really wanted to go cash in his crystals and, of course, couldn't.
It wouldn't work so well. I'd like to thank our friends from Randomania for the raid tonight. Hi, everybody from Randomania 2. You are watching the Road to Speed Gaming Live, the Final Fantasy Randomizer race series between Caleb and Dengwu. We are in the middle of race number 9 between these 2 runners, and it looks like, just so you're aware, both runners are on 3 orbs, but Dengwu is still chasing 1 loose item out in the world, and it is costing him dearly at the moment.
Yeah, he had a 2 crystal advantage at one point, and that's dwindled to basically giving the lead over to Caleb. And the longer it takes for him to go into Earthcave and get those last items, the longer it's going to be before he actually manages to get into pole position and finally get his game into gear.
Yeah, the tough thing about this seed for the 2 runners is that the floater stone was tucked in behind the herb loose in Earthcave. So our runners have been following a pretty linear path for about 40 minutes, basically hand in hand, going from key item location to key item location, and then the seed kind of broke open as they were looking for those 2 loose, which caused some pretty severe problems. But now Caleb is, like you said, just before Dark Moon, is just sprinting through Sky, just ignoring everything. And this is a very quick check. And with a 32 black belt, probably feels pretty good about the war mech at the top.
Yeah, when you're not in go mode, air feels like one of the longest dungeons for you to clear out. When you are in go mode, air is one of the fastest checks because the top 3 floors, like that come right after the cube, those are so easy to go through. Linear shot up, linear shot down, quick dive over off to the left, and then suddenly you're into the last 2 floors and able to just basically walk to the fiend. So at this point, Danglu is, I think, is actually kind of at a loss as to where exactly to go.
Yeah, you hate to see it. You know, it's tough like that sometimes, but you know, it's just it's kind of the nature of the game. You get kind of in that moment, and it can be a little bit tough.
Feels like he's a little on tilt at this point, and I hate to see it.
Oh no, we've got a problem on Caleb's screen.
Uh-oh.
So you know that wall sword that he used on the other fights at this point. He forgot to pull the trigger this time. Warmech opened up the emitters, and instead of firing fire, decides to fire out poison gas. And now all of a sudden, we know that Warmech has got a decent amount of health this seed, and we're on nuke charges and a Moss immune White Mage.
Now, he does have the White Mage rused up enough that White Mage is able to survive the attacks. And cranking out 120 damage there on those 2 hits, that wasn't bad. 5 hits for 247. White Mage could pull this off, but this suddenly went from an easily assured fight to, oh crap.
Yeah, the ruse is helping a ton here. It ends up being a great buy because the Warmech is deciding to try to mechanically kick this White Mage off the tower, and it's not quite working yet.
What he has to hope is that the Warmech doesn't get a critical hit, because 1 critical hit would take it out, but doesn't matter. Wow, 42,000 experience dumped onto that White Mage. White Mage is now level 27. White Mage is good to go. The power of the White Mage.
Yeah, White Mage now actually almost has enough hit points to just straight up survive a nuke in one shot, even if it's a full roll, at 391 maximum hit. So, White Mage, hero of the day. If you don't like White Mages, I apologize. You're wrong. I don't really apologize for that.
Hey, Swole Mage for the win right there. That White Mage has it going on. And at this point, he knows what's coming next. Lich doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, and Dang is still dipping chests here, so he is in Earth now, finally, which is great. He's again, as you can see, we saw that he was hemorrhaging time, and that time hemorrhage is about over here. He finds the second Invis 2 helmet. I guess he's going to make room for it.
I will.
Not a bad choice, certainly.
You can get. I mean, you got to think that he feels like with all the checks he has to make, and knowing what's in here, if Caleb took any kind of a gamble, which, considering the fact that they are hanging out in the same voice chat together, and he might have hinted at something like that, it's one of those situations where maybe Caleb even said when he got into go mode, Danglu has to feel behind. Any advantage he can get into Topher is an advantage he's going to need at this point.
Yeah, the tough thing, of course, is Caleb's black belt not getting those levels means that 42 is probably a little bit out of reach here. He's probably going to just do this with the 32 black belt and call it.
Thankfully, Danglu is very soon going to be in his own go mode. He still has a few chests he's going to have to check first, but once he gets to that vampire, he'll get that rod. He'll probably thank his lucky stars that he's done checking chests after basically 99% clearing it. But yeah, he's almost to the point where he's going to be able to do it, but he's also going to cede probably 3 or 4 minutes still to Caleb. It's going to take a wipe in Topher to even this up.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Caleb is here. We're at 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 20 seconds in the seed as he is popping a house right outside here. Actually, he's going to burn himself out of his house inventory to make heal potioning a little bit easier, because you can't use them down below anyway.
That's a strat that I will do. I like getting my heals in full position so they're good to go.
I don't know, I believe in my menuing skill enough that I don't really worry about it. It's a small detail, but it's a really good one a lot of the time. It's a good habit to be in.
It is. It's one of those things of I can menu quickly enough that I don't feel like I'm slowed down that much by having to heal somewhere else, but at the same time, if I can have it right there, then why stress about it? I can just quick menu to it over and over and my healing flies by.
Yep. Personal preference too, but it's a thing that you practice a lot of the time because it's useful. So, but of course now, yep, we've got Caleb now in the temple now doing some gear rearranging after cracking the orb. We're going to see Phantom, who's probably going to get punched in his red eye there in the middle.
Punched all the way into next Friday, more than likely.
I'm going to get punched 2,000 years in the future where he ends up in an ice cave and pathetically weak.
Yep, didn't even get a chance to attack. That Phantom is gone.
Dang is going to get the news here, finds the herb, but very smartly, he knows he's a few steps away from Vampire, so does not decide to go turn in the herb. He's going to try and see if
you have to check, yeah.
Oh yeah, this is an absolute must. He's going to hit Vampire a couple times, going to kill the blue-cloaked cosplayer, and he's going to find his rod, and he's going to be kicking himself a little bit here at this point, I believe.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where if we were in the Link to the Past randomizer, I have no doubt he would have dropped like 3 bombs on that treasure chest before walking away.
I mean, it would be Rage Flashes with Butter Sword, the number of chests he's opened, but they would be Rage Flashes nonetheless.
They would be. I mean, he'd be all geared up right there at that point. Red tunic, mirror shield, Butter Sword. He'd be good to go. Probably like 17 heart containers, but he'd still be mad.
Oh god, yeah, well, he is gonna get down here to the final orb right now, and so the gamble for Caleb has bought him some time right now. I mean, again, he hopped into Topher at 136.40, breaching the black orb. This shouldn't be too hard of a fight. I mean, Kraken we know is not very healthy, but of course, being Kraken, he's going to treat Kraken with the proper amount of respect, which is more than 0.
He did. He wisely immediately put that Black Mage up at the front, although Kraken is basically tickling as far as Kraken is able to do. But he knew going in that Kraken was going to be the last boss he had to fight, so he auto-queued all the people he didn't care about up to the front so he could make sure to take care of Kraken the most efficient way possible.
Of course, on Caleb's side, as he is making his dive into the second half of the Fiends Revisited here, of course, Lich 2 doesn't really provide any sort of danger to him. Yeah, I did too. I think there was some swinging away, I guess, question mark, but yeah.
Crabcakes in chat confirming the 2 red mages, or the 2 mages swung their swords and Lich fell over. It's basically what Lich is good at, is like being there to stop you from taking a step forward and then dying.
And of course, in the interim, of course, Carrie tags the black belt for near 400 damage there with the first swing, but the black belt swings back and says, "Yeah, no, I'm the most powerful fighter in this world." And Carrie goes down to one big 800-point hit, and that's about the end of that.
He's like, "You're cute. I can do that too."
Right, but yeah, so Deng is now doing some last-minute preparation here, making sure spells are on the Black Mage, everything he needs is in place so that he can get that dive. Preparation is usually the key to success, but also it costs time, so you have to really kind of counterbalance that as you get, just to really high levels in this randomizer.
I find it interesting that Caleb decided to take this fight right off the bat. The 2 Grey Sharks, 6 Sahags. I know that the running ability of the Red Mage isn't all that great, but the White Mage isn't terrible, and the Black Belt at level 32 is going to be able to run fairly decently. It's not like he needs that much in the way of experience at this point. He's good enough to probably make it through the rest of this dungeon, barring some unforeseen incident. Just curious to me that he took that fight.
Speaking of unforeseen incidents, we're about to see Kraken 2, the first true gatekeeper, all tentacles and anger.
Oh no, and apparently Dengmu is going to go get the airship? Maybe it's because he wants, like, as Chad is discussing, maybe because he wants that class change because he wants the fighter. It's curious.
Yep, but of course on Caleb's side, Kraken leads out with Rub and misses it, of course. Now, he has a lot of setup time. Going to ruse up the White Mage, make sure that she can get out of the way. Gets crit for 225, though. So Kraken has a bit of a crit rate, and the White Mage is down to half health here. So swinging away for about 400 with the Black Belt right now. We'll kind of see how this ends up.
It's exactly what you expect from Kraken, which is oh, I need to make sure this person survives. I'm gonna put him in the back row, and then Kraken immediately.
Oh no! That is a
Oh!
That was a 10-hit multi-crit Kraken, destroying the black belt, obliterating the red mage. The white mage is going to take a swing here. With the ruse, if it's not a crit, we'll be okay, but 10 chance, not looking so good here.
Yeah,
never mind. Never mind.
No.
Oh no!
No! It's Kraken not only hits like a truck, he's got a spell list.
Right, did you want to get out of the way? You're evading my tentacles? That's fine, let's go. Pops the nuke, goes down with, just takes the white mage apart. And we've got a wipe in the Temple of Fiends, everybody. We have ourselves a bit of a race going.
This was what Dangwoo needed. Now, that said, the way that Kraken was hitting, I'm not certain Dangwoo's fighter is going to be in much better shape at this point. That was brutal. That black mage or black belt came into Kraken, and Kraken's like, "Oh, you think you can hit? I can hit harder." And then after a couple times of swinging at the white mage, he's like, "You're cute," and nukes their face off.
Right, and he even had the right idea. He was casting heal 3, going to patch up the white mage. The big thing is he's got a white mage, and he didn't buy Cure 4. Cure 4 would have at least given him a puncher's chance there. Yeah, and
yeah, this is.
Go ahead.
You were gonna say?
Yeah, Crabcakes is making a good point. We don't have like a Hydra party or anything here. Fighter can't revive anybody.
No, if you want to do reviving, you're gonna have to take that white mage. Dangwood makes a stop though to get temper on his black mage. It's and Lock too. It's a question of, I wonder whether or not Caleb has admitted to his wife in their voice chat, like, but where are they at right now, and how do they know what the other person is doing? This is something we need to ask them when we get one of them interviewed finally.
I mean, the way that this Kraken 2 is going, it might be a couple of minutes.
Could take a moment, that's for sure.
Look, Kraken 2 is hungry. Hungry for Light Warriors. He
walloped up, and that's the thing of, you sit there going, well, if Kraken has nuke, I really hope that he's punch happy, but when it's a punch happy Kraken like that, you kind of want Kraken to hit his spells, but Kraken can't hit his spells without getting to that nuke, because it was, I believe, Fire 2 and then nuke right behind it. So
yeah, it was a lead-off rub, but it's still, third spot is real early in the chain here.
Yeah, he's magic happy and punch heavy. And the only thing you can hope is that he has a deep skill list that doesn't do anything, but he hasn't hit his skills once yet.
He might not have a skill list at all, and that would be actually devastating at this.
Absolutely, because that means that both of the things that you were wanting him not to do, he's gonna do immediately.
Paying full respects to Kraken's 10 hits and very disturbingly high crit rate here, just going with full evasion strats. Rub comes out to start, so there's the first spell out of the spell list, and it looks like, trying to make some decisions here on the white mage, taking a moment, but gonna go ahead and go with the ruse for full evasion. So white mage is full evasion. We've got 2 stacks on both of the other characters. Fire 3 comes out, and so we know that the danger is about to hit.
I mean, if it's me, you have an X-Furs available to you, and you have the Zap, I think there's a Zap Hammer that's in their bank. I might just try and bank on, like, X-Fur every turn, and try and outlast the 3 or so turns where something bad's gonna, like, not something not so bad is not going to happen, and try and just get Kraken to fall down before all the really nasty stuff comes out.
Well, speaking of which, we knew that this was coming. The nuke comes flying out, takes out the red mage. White mage down to 133, not feeling very good. Melee's gonna miss, though. Swing back, that's 2 hits, 98 with a... It's only 2 hits for 98 damage with a critical. Kraken also put on the armored cape this morning, so we could be here for a minute.
Yeah, he's wearing one of those, like, collared things around his neck, which name I can't remember at this point. But it's a very jaunty collar, and apparently it has, like, dragon armor levels of protection to it.
Yeah, white mage actually gets a crit with the Moss Immune for $4. 2 crit punch there for 222, but he's just going to have to hold A and pray at this point for the most part. He needs those crits before Kraken decides to crit back. And there's 224 on the black belt on a singular critical.
Crabcake's laying down the knowledge in chat. While Zap probably wouldn't hit even after an Expert, because the chance of it hitting is so low. If they have some access to Mute somewhere in their spell lists, Experting, getting that to hit, and then following up with Mute would take away half the damage of this Kraken. Might not be the most terrible idea, honestly.
Yep, Black Belt sticks another crit, though. It takes another 225, so again, Black Belt floating around 300 health here. We're way under the nuke threshold now at this point.
Meanwhile, he's winding
so
back
things
for
are looking real nice.
Yeah, 2 hits for 19 damage on one of those turns. That's bad. There's the 4th spell, Zap.
Did throw the Wall Sword up on the Black Belt, so Wall was in place. The crits are hitting for about 103 on the Black Belt, about 110 on the White Mage, but the hit rate's just real low here. So it's going to come down to who's getting crit.
Yeah, this is a solid Doorkeeper Kraken. Like, his Evade and his Absorb are just high enough at this point. Oh, and he's looped on his spell list.
Is it a 4 spell list? Because that was Rub again, but oh, wow. Just punching away. Just the slow, steady beat of the fists on the fists coming down. He ends up having to save his last heal 3 charge there, and ends up paying off as he is out of life magic, though. He did not buy advanced life magic or Cure 4. So even though his White Mage had the levels for it, he does not have the business spells on the back end here. So we're going to see if that pays off or if he gets into some trouble down here.
Thankfully, he has the heal pots to be able to get himself back up to full. What he does not want to see at this point is a nasty Tiamat. Or those waters. He can auto-run for them because he got the surprise on them, but still didn't want to see him. That's another, like, oh no, please no. So he gets the fast out. Kraken winds up for 292 damage against that Black Belt. And I didn't see how much damage the Black Belt did.
Infinite, basically. It was
enough.
Two swings, lots of crits, no armor, let's go. And we are on our way to the ultimate chaos.
It was enough. It was done. And that's what he needed. He needed to get through this Tiamat right now. He did not need to get ambushed by the Vampire Party Pack. But he needed to get through that Tiamat with little struggle. Meanwhile, Danglu was about to find out the joy that is this Kraken.
Yeah, he's going to throw out some tempers and some nukes here. He's going to try and buff this party as fast as possible. He's going to try and even stick slow to 11 hits, 1,189 damage. Sweet dreams, Greg. You're dead.
Greg's like, I'm not going to take this lying down, and then he lays down and follows that up with a big smack across the face of that fighter. And without a White Mage here, that hurts. That hurts. And Caleb taking the victory lap.
Yeah, sadly, this Quad X is absolutely not going to work here. He's got to lay out a lot of damage on this Kraken, but we've got Chaos on the screen here, so we're going to show... Looks like Wall Stick, going to fast the Black Belt and ruse the White Mage just to kind of try and keep the White Mage on their... Ooh, 3 hits, 426 with critical strikes there. That's not what you wanted to see to start here, as all of a sudden that Black Belt is already in critical range for a nuke. A single nuke would just smoke this party at this point. But the first swing back is 500 damage, so he's feeling pretty good about that. I think it's time to go in. Yeah, there's the nuke. Zap comes out. It's going to miss everybody. Swinging back, 122, so that didn't do any damage. A single crit for near no damage there, and Chaos got out of the way of some of that damage, but a nuke goes out, doing some decent damage. That's about a 300 damage. White Mage, fully evasive.
I was going to say, over on the other side, Dangwu hit up against that Kraken, gave it his best shot, and then was eventually eliminated, and had to go again.
Speaking of getting eliminated, though, Chaos is down. Did not have terribly much health. Was getting pretty close to minimum health there. So let's get your GGs out in chat for Caleb.
GG.
He is our victor tonight at 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 53 seconds, and 1 Kraken kill.
GG's, Caleb.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was brutal.
Yeah, it was an interesting seed. I thought it was going to be a floater list for a while. It was and then Temple of Fiends was basically nothing except Kraken.
It was the Kraken show.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably stop my timer. I always forget to do that, man. This was fun. I was a little concerned with the forced white mage at the outset, and then saw red mages immediately and was like, absolutely, I will rebuy all of these into red mages. And then I saw the promotion locked exit, and I was like, well, yeah, I guess we're dragging a white mage for a while. So
almost throughout the entire game.
Yeah, well, I carried a Groggy Dog with me the whole way. My plan was to turn the white mage into the black belt, but then when I saw Temper was locked at where it was, I think it was in Gaia, like Black Wizard only.
Yeah, level 7.
I was like, well, so we're not taking black mages, we're not getting Temper, I'm not going to bring a knight, we're going to do black belt the whole way. So then I was like, well, might as well keep the white to guarantee that I get Ruse and Invis 2, and then I dug up the 2 Invis 2 helmets, and I was like, well, I'll keep the white mage in my back pocket because it has life, and I didn't see life 2, so I'm assuming, or no, I did see,
it was white mage locked at like level 7 or level 8, I think.
Yeah, I think I saw it. I think it was in Gaia. I never saw Fade, so I'm assuming that was level 8 in Lefane.
Yeah, I don't even remember where it was. I think it had to have been Lufane, I guess, because I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, but it was fun. You know, it was a different party comp from what I'm used to, so I switched to the black belt a little sooner than I expected to as well. But yeah, it was fun.
We were honestly kind of wondering about that, because I know that I saw, like, the last time that you did this, you took your red mage all the way up to, what, 42, and then you switched them out at that point once you could exit, and then they became a black mage. And this time you took your black mage, or your black belt, in the mid-20s.
Yeah, I figured it was just routing wise, like I got a decent amount of levels, and I had the Masa at that point, and I was like, well, I could do Masa black belt strats on the Agama tile, and then the Agama didn't prove to be too much of a pain, so he was able to just punch it down. And but yeah, I did think about doing the grind with the white mage like I did last week with the black mage on the eye, with the white mage having access to exit, but then only having, I don't like getting rid of my only life caster, so I need my life safety net.
I mean, it's fair, and you would have had to route around to go get another white mage if you want another life caster after that. It would have been a hassle.
Yeah.
I don't hate what you did, though. I mean, as far as like hits and Masamune is concerned, your black belt's not all that much better or worse than your fighter is. They just don't have the gear necessarily, but once you're in your mid-20s or so, it doesn't feel like it's that big a deal.
So, Caleb.
You still there?
Yes. I got sucked into Dangwoo's, I was excited for this Kraken fight. But, yes, the Marine.
So, Earth Cave.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I knew the incentives, so I knew that it was either going to be Marsh-locked Earth or Titans that was going to be the Tri-State from Spellzap. Rolling the seed, and then I did the Titans, and I found the key, and I was like, okay, so it wasn't Titans. If Titans was Tri-State, it was on, so that means the other two are incentive. And then I did the Marsh locked with the key, and I got Masa, and I was like, okay, so that was also either Tri-State or turned on. So it just felt like the odds to go check the incentive locations before digging out chest density. And then I almost, when I saw the herb, I was like, well, there's my floater. But it ended up, went and did the vampire check anyway and paid off with the rod being in there. And then I was just able to just finish walking it out. And it's ironic because I feel like on Tuesday when we did the Duckling showcase seat, it was also Rod in the Earth chest behind the vampire. So yeah, these tri-state flags are fun.
I do enjoy them, and I like our tri-state. That's just really odd.
Yeah.
Oh, Dangler makes it past.
Nice. So he's good. He shouldn't have any trouble with the rest of this.
Nah, Tiamat fell down like she was nothing, and then Chaos really didn't seem to have all that much going on either.
No, I think I did like 1,300 damage on Chaos, and he fell. So
low roll on the health then.
yeah, it seemed like it. Oh, he found both Invis helmets too.
Yeah, those were nice, weren't they?
Yeah. Especially when treasures are randomized, you're not guaranteed to get good stuff. The item magic was pretty forgiving in this with the Invis 2 helms and the Zap Hammer, which I never actually got to use, but the Wall Sword was also clutch.
Wall Sword was super handy, especially when it looked like there was only one ribbon in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, randomized treasures.
Yeah.
So yeah, how are you feeling about these flags at this point? Because you're now one up on Dangwu, having stolen his thunder from his win last week that destroyed your run the week prior. You're 5-4 at this point in the series of 9 that we've done. With another month or so to go, how are you feeling about the flags? How are you feeling about your position?
I like them. I think they're a lot of fun. They they're pretty consistent time wise. We're running them anywhere from hour and a half to just under 2 hours. There's a lot of variability with the forced. Now he's got the Quad X. With the different taverns and whatnot, so you can kind of do whatever you. Oh, he's doing the big victory lap. I told him I was victory lapping on him.
Oh, and then the small pit crew lap afterwards, and a check of the wall.
All right, Dangle, I see you, Dangle.
That's incredible right there.
Wow.
Well done, sir. If you can't get the win, get the meme win.
Yeah, but no, I like the flags. They're a lot of fun. Let's watch Dangwu kill Chaos.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll get back to the questions afterwards, because
Yeah,
I have some other stuff to talk with you about that.
Yeah. Do it, yeah, Zap.
I thought I saw Zap on there. That was pretty. Just maybe. Oh.
It'll never happen.
You say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've zapped Chaos 3 times. It does happen on occasion, and like anything else, it's 3 out of 256. You don't bet on those odds. Like you don't put your money on it. But if it happens, that's great.
I mean, Will Cleosis has basically stolen 2 wins from Tristal because of that. Okay. Chaos comes out with that zap, manages to take out one of the red mages.
Oh.
The rest of the party is still standing. I think he can live without that red mage.
Yeah, but might be time to. It might be serious time now. It might be time to stop memeing and start actually maybe killing Chaos here, because Ace 3 is actually going to hit that other red mage pretty hard.
No, speaking of memeing, another zap hammer comes out, because I think he's committing to the zap run.
Not with Dangwu.
Interestingly enough, Chaos is legitimately the only enemy in the game that resists time magic, but also even if you do stick the X-Sphere, it doesn't actually increase the accuracy of Zap enough for it to hit more than 3 out of 256 times.
No, I think he just really wanted to meme. That was about it.
Yeah.
And with that not working, he goes back to doing things normally. Loses the black mage there from a blaze, about to lose that red mage on another strong spell. Tries to get the fast out. Oh, doesn't matter. That's done.
Yeah. GG, Dangwu!
Chaos, pretty pathetic, honestly, there. But that's about the end of that for Chaos at 2 hours, 1 minute, and 8 seconds.
Dangwu, GG's.
GG to Caleb. He earned it.
You with your big boy victory lap.
Right? I got a little worn out there, so I tried to zap Chaos. My knight needed a couple turns up to recover.
So I want to know, and I'm sure like you were expecting this question. How in the weeds were you there? Like by the time that Caleb was starting to wrap up, and you were still trying to find that rod.
Oh, it felt awful.
Mm-hmm. Not to rub salt in the wound there.
No, it felt bad. There was a couple misplays, big misplays. I sold my white wizard for something else. For another red wizard or a fighter, and then I sold my red wizard for a black wizard that literally did nothing for a lot of the seed, because I was hoping for a floater, at any point there, so I could get the spells needed, and it just never came. And then he said something like, "I found the floater," and I go, "I hate you," because I'm in the floating castle. And I'm like, I have an idea where it's at, but I just have to keep checking because I don't know where he's at. So it got awkward.
Thing is, though, because of that first wipe that Caleb took to Kraken there in Topher, like, despite like ceding a bunch of time to him, you were practically caught up there by the end of it. It's just, Kraken was a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Kraken, high absorb, decently high absorb, high enough evade, high enough HP. Yeah, it was great. I was like, okay, I might catch up to him, and then no, not with that chaos.
These flags aren't like necessarily the easiest. They're not like full duckling levels flags, but they're still not like super difficult. But that was a pretty expert Kraken right there.
Yeah, especially considering how easy Lich and Carry were. I think Lich fell my first dive after a Sunsword swing and a White Mage Masa swing, and I one-shotted Carry with the Black Belt, I think, and it was just like, oh, okay, they have like probably 800 HP between the two of them. So, and then Kraken comes in and just shows you what Topher can be.
You're cute. I came in here from a different tournament, and let's go.
Right. It's a challenge seed Kraken.
I mean, did Kraken ever swing at you? I mean, like, I can only imagine your black belt just getting blown up instantly.
He got hit for like 900 and was down immediately. And I was like, okay, when I come back in here, I'm going to be doing evasion strats.
Oh, so you must have got good turn order then on him. Because every single time Kraken got first turn me. Luckily, the second time through was a spell.
Well, I think
there was lead off. There was lead off rub for both of you the second time through.
Yeah,
that makes it a lot easier.
I also got. I still ended up having, I think, just my White Mage. No, I don't. I'm already forgetting the run, man. It's just crazy how stuff evaporates.
So it doesn't count, right?
You had the red mage and white mage take down Warmech because Warmech opened with Bane and smoked your black belt on the bridge.
Yeah, I know my white mage was mono stratting on him with the white mage samurai, because eventually the red mage did go down too, and Groggy Dog got all those levels for me.
So we probably need to start wrapping this up at this point, but next week we're going to be playing on Saturday. We're going to have a good weekend match this time around. One of the only time that we're doing this on a Saturday. Considering where you guys are at this point, Caleb, I know you're one game up. Dangwu, seems like this seed didn't quite go in your favor. Are you guys going to be looking at different strategies next time? Do you have like a meta each of you guys are playing at this point? What's going on in your heads right now?
I mean, to be completely honest, this is the second week in a row where Rod has been in Earth incentivized location.
Just do it. Just dive. It's always there.
And then the herb ended up leading to the floater, which after I sold my white wizard with exit, I was like, I really don't want to do it, but I ended up doing Ice Cave anyways.
Yeah. The tail was super important. It's funny because this could have been a floaterless seed. because I think the Lefane and Crescent didn't have progression, so
It was floaterless, and I was going to do it, but I said no. I need that temper.
my strategy has been 3 fighters and danging my 4th party member and just never never bringing them up. And yeah, it was I'll probably stick with a 3-person party and just go with that. I mean, I think what I like about these is that it's variable on what kind of party you want to bring with the tavern mode. And I've been playing a lot of black belt, but this seed I was ready to roll with the fighter until I saw temper was locked, and I was like, well, I guess I'm bringing a black belt because I was pulling out decent gear for a fighter the whole way. But yeah, I think this was the first one I did with a white mage too, so that's always fun. What about you, Dangu? What's your strategy? Tell me all your secrets.
I mean, I think I was actually looking really good if the floater wouldn't have been in the Earth Cave. But hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
He goes, so how many orbs you got? I go, I got 3. He goes, I have 1. I go, it's okay. I don't have rod or floater. He goes, oh, all right, well.
But we were actually going to ask you guys about that, like what your discussion was like this time, since you have your own private voice chat going on.
There's a lot of grunting.
There was a lot of grunting.
Well, I knew when you said that you hadn't found the rod, I was like, you're gonna go to ice, you're gonna go to Earth, and you're gonna catch up immediately. So like I knew that you were right on my heels, and yeah, I didn't feel too comfortable until I got through Kraken, and then I felt a little comfortable because I figured he would probably wipe at least once on Kraken. And that's why I did my little mini victory lap. I didn't do the big one.
Demi, you got any other questions for the 2 runners?
No, the only other question I have is, so you've raced 9 times against each other, and of course you're good friends. How has racing the same set of flags over and over affected your playstyle during these races?
It brings me back to the Swiss flags from the spring tournament with the town shuffle and really prioritizing doing town checks. So, and trying to remember the flags sometimes.
I feel that. I've watched like 4 of these now, and oftentimes I'm like, wait, what flags are we playing with again?
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, no matter what dungeon you decide to go into first, it's either going to be Kraken or Tiamat.
I love the box shuffle.
Yeah.
I think this is the first out of the 9 races we've done. This is the first one that Caleb and I have gone in separate directions that massively. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I accomplished Volcano, Floating Castle, and Sea Shrine, and he was over in Earth. So that was like one of the rare cases where I had accomplished a bunch of stuff on the opposite side of him.
Yeah, that's true. We're usually holding hands through the seed, it seems, but this time we did not. But they're a ton of fun. I like these flags. But yeah, and next week when you said we're doing it on the 14th,
Saturday, yeah,
and then on the 15th we got the Duckling Derby kicking off.
We do. 3 days of duckling action there, 9 o'clock every one of those days. That's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. I finally get to play on stream again.
Yay!
Woo! I mean, that might be the only day of it that I get to play is the 15th.
Wait, you're a duckling still?
Yeah, I've only been with the community like 5 months.
Back when I joined the community, we didn't have ducklings. They just threw me in against Tristal and said, "Go to it."
Don't gatekeep me. I'm a duckling too with Darkmoon.
Yeah, and I am proud that like the race we did a few days ago, I actually beat you. I was like, "Whoa, look at me!"
Yeah,
Can you teach me how to beat him? Because apparently he cheats against me.
Make sure he takes a fighter thief comp and feels the need to go up to level 50. That's
how yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I chose his classes for him.
I kind of feel like the deck was stacked in my favor, but I'm gonna take it. Okay.
I mean, Dimmering, to your point, my first two SRL races were against Will Cleosis and Woat, so I feel you on the just kind of getting thrown into the deep end at the onset. So
yeah, my first on-stream race ever was a floor shuffle when I'd never done floor shuffle before against Shadow Walker as a fun time event, and I wasn't even out of the Circle C before he defeated me.
Yeah, I remember that. That was and Cece was in on the
brutal.
race too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, that was the second one. That one was a lot of fun. It was a super difficult one. I did one with him before that, and I was destroyed by him on that one. So I feel ya.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna let Speed Gaming have their channel back at this point. It's been great fun watching you two. I love this series. I think we're gonna the next few games are gonna be awesome, and then I'm super looking forward to doing this live.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. Well, thank you guys for doing the comms, and thank you Speed Gaming for hosting us, and thanks Spells App for the seed and tracking, man. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for the seed, Spells App. Great.
So yeah, make sure to follow our runners if you aren't already, Caleb and Dangwoo. Give a follow to Spells App and Demarine as well, my wonderful crew that have been helping us out on these things. And of course, I myself am Darkmoon EX, Darkmoon Firelight on Twitch. Demarine, you got anything else for us?
Keep on coming out and supporting the Final Fantasy Randomizer community in all its forms. This has kind of been a nice little stretch of we don't have any events going, which will be nice, but, keep on coming out and supporting these races, because these two are really showing off what you can do with the Randomizer, and, just continuing to show off what they're really capable.
And then we will see you guys for 4 days of Final Fantasy Randomizer action next week, with Saturday's Road to SG Live, 10 o'clock here on the Speed Gaming channels, followed up by days 1, 2, and 3 of the Duckling Derby, where four of those finalists are going to no longer be Ducklings and be promoted into the pro ranks of the Final Fantasy community. And one of them is going to be at Walk Away, the Platypus Champion. So stay tuned here on Speed Gaming for all that action and so much more. Until next week, I'm Darkmoon EX, joined here by Demarine, and we will see you later.